Today, we're going to start with the US oil, and then we're going to see what has been happening and some likely projections for gold and silver as well, because they have been in contraction and we could be expecting a breakout soon, either to the upside or to the downside, at least in the short and potentially medium term. Oil has been falling over the past few days. Yesterday, we've seen another move to the downside, a sharp decline, once again, on the back of a very poor API report. Now, on top of that, don't forget that the coronavirus in China is also affecting the prices of oil. We could see the prices of oil sliding lower because we're probably looking around decline in oil demand by 300,000 barrels per day or so, okay? Which would suggest that my projection might come into fruition. I was seeing as oil, this is a primary wave 1 to the downside over here, right? And then primary wave 2, and then I'm expecting the prices to continue lower. Now, this is very long term, of course. I see all this move as a triangle correction, okay, with waves A, B, and C completed. Now I'm expecting, after this short correction B, wave C to take out D, and from there, see the bounce to complete wave E and the triangle formation. Now, of course, fundamentals as well as the situation in China could allow the oil prices to move further lower down, okay? That would seem to suggest that there is no triangle formation, okay? And we've just have a simple ABC correction here with a truncated C wave because we are below this top, right? And then that means that potentially we could move down in an impulsive manner and continue to first the previous low of 50.60 and then the bottom of December 2018 around 42. Now moving on to gold quickly, and then also we'll have a look at silver. Both have been moving in a contraction, right? There seems to be an attempt, or quite a few attempts, to break to fresh lows, but the support level at the time, okay, supports have been holding well. Now, that could suggest that we could have another move to the upside in the short term, at least for gold to complete wave B. And then we could see another move to the downside to complete these three correction, right? I mean, to me, to be honest, at least at the time being, we've had the US-China situation pretty much at least de-escalating, right? There is no final resolution yet, but it is de-escalating, which seems to suggest that the precious metals could potentially move to the downside. Gold completed this low down here at 1535, right? It seems that we've done an A-B and potentially looking in the short term to move a little bit higher up, but we want to see a break above the 1570 for that to be, of course, a valid case. Now, if, one second, let me just draw the Fibonacci over here. If we look at this move to the downside, the first one, we're looking potentially to go up to 1583, potentially 96, but just for the easier sort of, if we wanted to see an easier drop to the downside, pretty much, then it means that the bears would step in a bit earlier, right? So we could potentially start looking for shorts at 1574, if, of course, the move to the upside is validated, right? As I said, we're waiting for the 1565 or so break for this to be the case. However, no signals on the RSI or MACD, so we could remain indeed in a consolidation phase for a little bit longer than expected. The situation with silver isn't much different. We've had a low reached down here at the same level, okay? Actually, we have a deeper correction over here, at least in the short term, okay? That seems to suggest that this is either an ABC, and we are expecting a 161 extension up here, which is going to take us above the 18 level, or we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is wave A. Then we're going to see a big correction, which is probably going to take us a little bit higher than the 18.3 or 4. Okay, and from there, move to the downside as well to complete the last wave to the downside. Just a note on silver. The current formation seems to suggest to me that we are going to have a complex combination here with W and X being already completed, and we expect now another move to the downside to complete wave Y. That is probably going to take prices to around 1575, but of course, to validate this W, X, and Y pattern, we need to break below the 1652, which is the previous low.